Hey guys, it's UT and Kiddo here. We are going to make some bird food because we have been buying the little packages of it, and we saw a video on it quite a while ago last winter. We were going to wait to make it till winter, but we have a little bit of spare time. What we have here is bird seed. We also have peanut butter, cornmeal. This is some sunflower seeds from my sister's garden. I'll show you what the hair dryer is for in just a minute. Here's a spoon. The stuff that we had been buying comes in these right here, and so that's the right size for the cage we need, which is smaller. A lot of this info is in the video where we saw how to do this process and stuff, so we figure we got the spare time, we're going to give it a try ourselves. UT and Kiddo. We'll show you the process. Love you guys. It is August 2nd, 2018. Thanks for watching. Alright, so the basic formula for this is supposed to be 1 part peanut butter to 2 parts lard and 2 parts birdseed. So what we're going to start with is, rather than measuring it out, we are going to use this, get all of this in here, fill it twice with lard, and put that in there. Yeah. So that is the step we're going to go through. We probably won't show it while Kiddo scoops that out. You can go ahead and scoop that in there, Kiddo. Try to get all the peanut butter out of that into that bowl.
I thought you meant them first.
So while Kiddo gets the peanut butter out of the jar into the bowl, I am going to finish washing these. These are what you normally would see the birdseed come in for the smaller cage. And all I did is I took an old sock, clean of course, but just had holes in it and everything else like that, and used that to wipe out the basic residue to get a lot of the major greasy chunks and stuff out of there. And then I took it and I just been soaking it in soapy water, and it's coming loose, so I'm going to finish scrubbing those out. Kiddo's going to work on getting the jar of peanut butter in the bowl. And then when we're ready for the next part, we'll show you guys again. Anything you want to say, Kiddo?
No.
No? Okay. Hey guys, the next step is we have some lard here. We are going to, I'm going to fill this lard into this peanut butter, and Kiddo is going to empty it from the peanut butter in the peanut butter jar into the peanut butter. So, and I will do that twice. So fill this twice, empty both of them into the peanut butter, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Meanwhile, these over here are drying right now. They're probably not as clean as they should be, but in the interest of science, we're going to just leave them be and just let them get it dried out a little bit, and that'll be the trays we'll be putting it in. Show you guys what comes up next.
Maybe you could hold it, because I don't know where. So let's
Scooping that into that.
that seems easy.
Alright guys, so we got one of these in there. Two of these of the lard are in here. Kiddo's about to mash it up, but we have no bowl that will fit into our microwave, and we also have nothing that'll feasibly be able to mix it, anything in. So this is too big of a bowl for the microwave. We need to heat this up somehow. I am going to see if we can do it with this hairdryer. We're going to see if we can slow melt it and stir it like that. So 1 part peanut butter, 2 parts lard. Love you guys. Alright, once again, we are definitely not tutors. We got this idea from another video we saw off of Nature's Cool, and I will provide the link in the description.
This doesn't look like peanut butter. It looks like mushed butter.
Mushed butter? So we got it to a pretty decent consistency. Our next step is 2 parts bird food. We're going to use this cheap bird food, but the 2 parts bird food. The entire formula is not exact, but this is our attempt at it. So what you'll see at the end is whether or not this attempt worked. But here's the cheap bird food. We're going to put 2 parts of that in there. I'm going to use a clean container so we don't have to scrape it out of the reused container. We will be washing this, of course. So
So I put some
2 things of bird food.
Huh?
Kid, we'll mix it all in.
Sorry, because it's going all of his other mouth. So that's his mouth, and it's...
Hold it over.
Ducky angry because he thinks he's swallowing it, was actually he's not really digesting it. It's coming out of his other mouth.
Okay, go and put it in there.
Awesome.
Now stir it all up really well. We will also be adding just a little bit of this. This is bird seed from my sister's giant sunflowers last year.
Oh,
Or some sunflower seeds.
they're stuck on a spider web. Hey, my mothers and dads are here. Besides, there's more kids than our parents. It's weird because there's more kids than parents.
Alright, so we'll get that stirred up really quick and show you guys the next step.
They're all getting stuck to my spoon.
Yeah, I'll help you out, bud.
Do you like that?
Alright guys, at this point we have 1 part peanut butter, 2 parts lard, 2 parts bird seed, a little bit of extra. It can be left like this to set, but I noticed that that stuff melts really easy, and since it's still the hot season, we might do it that way alone in the cold season when we're not so concerned with it melting out there. But you can use flour or cornmeal in order to give it more of a no melt situation. Flour doesn't work as well as the cornmeal does. I'm guessing the cornmeal is one of the ingredients that I've seen in many of the ones you can buy from the store that are the no melt variety. So if you want less of a melt for the hot season, I would suggest using cornmeal, but flour can also help improve the dryness and the consistency of it, so it's not so much of the lard in there. But we are going to now
What's all this?
try that much right there. I don't know how much that would be, probably
What's all
about
that stuff?
half a cup's all. But we're going to go ahead and try it and stir that in, and then show you guys the next step. Thanks again. Alright guys, so what we are doing here is we are scooping it now into the little trays. You can use all kinds of trays, basically anything you can find that you can put in there. Once it gets in the freezer and sets for a little bit, it pretty much doesn't matter. So these just happen to fit that little bird cage thing like we have. Once we're done with that, I'll show you what we do. So we just fill these up basically to the line level, kind of press it in a little bit, kind of like this. One thing I want to note is we tried to use this to heat it up the grease or the lard, and it didn't work very well. So it basically heated the outside of it, but you want to get the core, you want to get the entire thing gently soft, so a microwave would work best. I would imagine an oven would be kind of a rough sell on that as well. Either way would technically work to get the lard to soften, but it doesn't really get to the core, so it was more just super melting the outside, and we didn't really like that.
Okay, I know this. And then
Alright. So we'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. So what we're doing is we are taking the bird seed mix that we've made, we are putting it in here, kind of flatten it down a little bit, what we got here. Here's one that's already done. We are taking the regular common sandwich baggie.
Yep.
Pulling it into here like this. And we don't really need that on there. And then we will basically pull that over there. So they are basically the right size for that. Once we got it in this little package like this, we will take it. Here, I'll record in there. Just put it flat in here for a couple hours until we see if it sets or not. So we will see if this works. Love you guys. Alright, so we are at the last part of this. We have them in the sandwich bags, in the tins. We are letting them set in the freezer for a couple hours. I will cover it one last time if it goes well or if it goes south. But if it goes well, then I will recover the stuff we used and how we did it. And if it doesn't go well, I will try to take a look and see why it didn't. But looking good. I like how they're packaged like this in the baggies and stuff like that, almost like you could give them away to other people. You can already feel that they're setting. So take a look again in just a little bit, guys. Love you. Thanks again. So here it is. It has set. The stackable trays, if you guys ever use those ones at all, work perfect with sandwich bags to store it. But that's the deal right there. Let's take a look. You ready, kiddo?
Yeah.
We'll open it outside.
Does it look like the stuff that goes outside? Yeah.
Here, take it.
I thought it would only look like the stuff they usually go outside.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better. Who knows though? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if it's a drippy mess or if it's nonsense. I put that out there for them just because they were hounding me earlier. Go ahead and open it up, bud.
Open it up.
So 1 part peanut butter, 2 parts lard. We ended up using about 1 cup of cornmeal, and as far as the bird seed's concerned, instead of using 2 parts, we used closer to about 3. So it should be heavy bird seed, but it looked like it worked. Let's see if it comes out of there. Here, you hold the camera for a second.
Well, all we're gonna do is put in there.
This cheap cage, I'd honestly like to not have this chain on it, but
we needed to hang, I think. So, get the business. The chain. And all we do up there is hang it up. And that's the kind of burly.
see it. Oh, there we go. It worked. Gotta get back to that video game, I'm sure. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, I really hope this video isn't getting too long because I really wanted to show this, but in our summer heat it is getting soft really easy. The birds are still coming to it. We're getting some blue jays in our yard recently and some hummingbirds, and a lot of the common little brown birds. But I think in the heat, what might have helped this out was we should have probably used a lot more cornmeal, or possibly even flour as well, but something to kind of keep it from settling quick. Also, one of the mistakes that we might have made is the whole process of melting the lard was a little bit off, because we tried using the hair dryer at first and then we smashed it for a long time, so it spent a lot of time getting really soft. I think we wanted it barely soft and mixable, but we ended up with it a little bit liquidy. Once you put lard into that state, even when you solidify it or reset it, it seems like it goes back into that liquefying process faster. So when doing the whole process, it would probably benefit to add a lot more cornmeal to keep it drier, and also to go ahead and make sure you do the microwave. The microwaves kind of, they kind of scramble the water that's inside of the lard and it heats it from the inside out, so you get the overall consistency a little bit soft, and then go through the process as quickly as possible. Don't leave it in that liquidy state too long. But it is kind of sinking out a little bit. We moved it down from the tree, but I thought I would point out that we're going to keep the other 6 of these in the freezer for now until the cold season, because in the cold season it won't really matter as far as temperature. But right now, southwestern Utah, we're sitting at around 95 degrees daily, and it cannot hold up to that. So I thought I would point that out. Maybe some more cornmeal, maybe the process a little bit quicker and smoother, and also cold temperatures is probably the perfect time to be feeding the birds anyways. You probably don't want too many in your yard, especially if you're in seed planting season or hot season, but thought I would show that. Love you guys. Thanks again.